This is Yayoi Kusama. Yayoi Kusama is sometimes called the Princess of Polka Dots. She makes lots of different types of art, paintings, sculptures, performances, and installations, but they all have one thing in common: lots and lots of dots. She tells the story of how when she was a little girl, she had a hallucination that scared her. She was in a field of flowers when they all started talking to her. The heads of the flowers were like dots that went on as far as she could see, and she felt as if she was disappearing into this field of endless dots. This influenced most of her later work by adding all over marks and dots to her paintings, drawings, objects, and clothes. She feels as if she's making them and herself melt into and become part of a bigger universe. She creates environments of dots so that we can experience this feeling of self-obliteration too. She calls these rooms her infinity rooms. She creates them by installing hundreds of flashing colored LED lights into mirrored rooms. The pinpricks of light in the dark room reflect endlessly in the mirrors, making you feel like you are in an endless space. The dots surround and engulf you. Yayoi Kusama was born in Japan in 1929. She loved drawing and painting, and although her parents didn't want her to be an artist, she was determined. When her mom tore up her drawings, she made more. When she could not afford to buy art materials, she used mud and old sacks to make art. This is a drawing she made of her mother when she was 10 years old. Eventually, she persuaded her parents to let her go to art school and study painting. In the late 1950s, she moved to New York City as lots of the most exciting art seemed to be happening there. She had her first of many exhibitions in New York City in 1959. She met and inspired important artists, including Andy Warhol, and her art was part of exciting art developments like pop art and minimalism. She was also one of the first artists to experiment with performance and action art. As well as being an art pioneer, Yayoi Kusama put her creativity into other things including music, design, writing, and fashion. She particularly liked to use pumpkins as imagery in her artwork. They were a positive piece of her troubled childhood. As a young girl, she spent hours drawing pumpkins. In Japan, pumpkins are called kabaka, and to Yayoi Kusama, they represent stability, comfort, and modesty. This installation is called All the Eternal Love I Have for the Pumpkins. She featured her signature polka dots on large yellow kabaka sculptures. When you enter the room, you're immediately transported to a world full of imagination and fantasy. Let's create